ਏਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Talking about sovereignty of the Khalsa is a very vast topic. It includes how the Khalsa came into being, how the Khalsa was nurtured by the Guru Sahib, and how the Khalsa stood up to the test of time. It's a journey full of moments of great excitement and extreme sadness. Yet, there is this constant state of joy we call Chardhi Kala. No matter what Khalsa was going through, they never gave up. Never gave up. Every day was a new day, and there was huge optimism. So the big question is, what led to that? How did that happen? To just brush up, Guru Nanak Dev Ji came to this world. He had a very clear message. And the message which was not only clear but totally distinct as well from the existing paths. One thing which Guru Nanak Dev Ji emphasized on was Simran Abhyas. And that's very unique to Sikh. Other mats do it, but we do it for a different reason. Vaheguru. When I say the word Vaheguru, what does it mean to me? Am I just saying it because the person next to me is saying it, and the person on the other side is saying it, so I say Vaheguru? What does Vaheguru personify to me? This word Vaheguru. Some will say Vaheguru is Akal Purkh's name. When we look for, try to experience, feel Akal Purkh, we say Vaheguru. Some will say Vaheguru is the mantra which includes the references from the different mantras from the other ages. It's a combination of it, Vaheguru. Some will say, when I say Vaheguru, I'm saying Tan Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Vah Guru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Vah Tan hai. Tu Tan hai. There's none like you. There is none like you. You're amazing. But then, what is Vaheguru? I mean, these are all very commonly observed interpretations of the term Vaheguru. But these merely are words. What does Vaheguru do to me? What does saying Vaheguru over and over again, how does it make a difference? Bhai Gurdas ji says, Vaheguru, Gur mantra hai, jap haume khoi. Why is this haume khoi? Why is this so important? Jap haume khoi. Haume ego, khoi, get rid of, lose it. Vaheguru is that mantra. When I do it over and over again, I get rid of my ego. So that's the purpose of saying Vaheguru over and over again. Japa, haume khoi. What does haume do here? What's the role of haume? Talking about Sovereign Khalsa. How does haume relate to Sovereign Khalsa? Panjਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਤਾਜ 12 ਮਹਾਮਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਰਤ ਕਰਮ ਕੇ ਵਿਛੜੇ ਕਰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਮਿਲੋ ਰਾਮ ਚਾਰ ਕੁੰਟ ਦਹ ਦਿਸ ਭ੍ਰਮੇ ਥਕ ਆਏ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਕੀ ਸਾਮ ਕਿਰਤ ਕਰਮ ਕੇ ਵਿਛੜੇ. Because of our deeds, we have separated from you, Akal Purkh, Vaheguru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Kirt karam ke vichhade. Now what can I do to get back to you? Mera milap kiਵੇਂ ਹੋਵੇ? Kar kirpa. Please bless me. Please bless me. Why is this yearning, this deep desire to reconnect? Because that's the source. That's the Paramatma from who, because of our deeds, we have separated. And as a result, char kunt, 4 corners, dah this prame, 10 directions, prame, wandering. Now I'm so tired. Thak aaye Prabh ki saam. I've come to seek the protection of Akal Purkh Dhan Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Haume is one impediment which will prevent this milap. Now, for a Sikh, on a personal level, what is our goal? Some will say, ਆਪਾਂ ਰਹਿਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਰੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਸਰੰਜਾਮ ਲਾਗ ਭਵਜਲ ਤਰਨ ਕੈ ਜਨਮ ਬ੍ਰਿਥਾ ਜਾਤ ਰੰਗ ਮਾਇਆ ਕੈ. We need to reassess the direction we are moving in and kind of come back and start to try to get back to Akal Purkh. That's the reason why we are born, on a personal scale. But then, when you ask Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, what was the purpose? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਆਏ? ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ, ਸੰਤ ਵਾਰਨ ਦੁਸ਼ਟ ਸਭਨ ਕੋ ਮੂਲ ਧਾਰਨ. So there is a social connotation to it. So I cannot live in isolation. I cannot seek merger with Akal Purkh for myself yet, not be concerned about my neighbors, the society. So we owe a responsibility to society. And that who owes responsibility to society and to self, and is dedicated to this path, is the Khalsa. Is the Khalsa. So we can't just live in isolation. A lot of us in this day and age, ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਜੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਬੇਟਾ ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਛ ਜੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ. From my perspective, this is not appropriate. This is irresponsible, in fact. So how do I make a difference in this world? One way is to mend myself, to bring myself on the right path, and as a result, when others observe me, they might be inspired to do the same thing. That's an easy way. But then there's another way. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, "Jo tau prem khilan ka chao, sir tarat dali gali meri aao." Baba Deep Singh. I have my personal goal, but I got to make sure the society that I am in is also safe and clean. Not just for me, this generation, generations to come. So, Sovereign Khalsa. The word Khalsa, for most of us, I was asking a lot of questions with the younger groups. I'm going to ask questions here for the sake of time. Khalsa, if I were to ask you, you'll say, it means pure. Khalsa, pure, unblemished. There's no stain, spotless, clean. No ego, no vikar, no vishay. It's just like Guru Gobind Singh Ji says, Khalsa, mero roop hai khas. It's my special form. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji is so pleased when he revealed the character of the Khalsa. He's so pleased, he's so joyous, he's so happy. He's admiring the Khalsa, the product which started the development of that human being which started with Guru Nanak Dev Ji is now culminating with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. And that compels him to say, he's so happy, Khalsa mero roop hai khas. So much so that he says, Khalse main hu karo nivas. This is my home. That's where I live. That's where I dwell, amongst the Khalsa. So how could the Khalsa have any blemishes, any spots, any stains? Khalsa, mero. How Khalse ka, Khalsa mero. Ot pot sagar bundiro. मैं ते खालसा ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਹਾਂ. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਓਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਡ੍ਰੌਪ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਡ੍ਰੌਪ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਪਾਣੀ ਹੈ. So Khalsa, Guru Sahib Ji is beholden to the Khalsa. So the Khalsa ought to be pure. But what does the term Khalsa mean? What else does it mean? Some of you might have heard this. Khalsa is also that tract of land, that territory which belongs to the monarch, the crown. This concept for us from the United States is kind of foreign. But it makes sense to you when I say these properties belong to the crown. They belong to the crown. There is no law of the land which applies to them. They belong to the crown. So, from a Punjab's perspective, there used to be the king, the Maharaja, or the Raja, or the Sultan, or the Badshah. And then there used to be different provinces, different states, Sube. Each Suba would have a Subedar, a governor. And then each Suba, Suba Sarhand, Suba Lahore, we've heard of them in history. Each Subedar would have in that hierarchy the Jagirdars. The Jagirdars. Each Suba would be divided into Jagirs. Jagirs is several villages, and there's one person in charge of those several villages. He would be known as the Jagirdar. And those Jagirs would be then subdivided would be under different tracts of land, and they would be then called Jimidars. And the Jimidars would have the farmers under them to farm, to till the land, to sow the crops, produce, sell it, make money. And the Jimidar got a cut out of it, the Jagirdar got a cut out of it, the Subedar got a cut out of it, and finally the wealth reached the Padshah. But this tract is only answerable to the sovereign. To the sovereign. This is the Khalsa. This is the Khalsa. The creation of the Akal Takht. The creation of the Akal Takht. What makes this such a unique watershed point in our history? Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji says, from now on, Sikhs will come to the Akal Takht. I'm freeing them of any bondage to the Takht of Delhi or Lahore or Sarhand. Akal Takht, Khalsa, sovereign. So, when we as children of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji start to owe our allegiance to other authorities, we get confused. And we feel powerless. And we feel powerless. Our allegiance is only to Akal Purkh Tan Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. None other. None other. That's the first step in our very strengthening of our faith is concerned, to declare ourselves sovereign. Now, under the influence of the West, especially the liberal left and in the conservative capitalist society, my generation and your generation especially, and the one in between as well, we have been very, very vulnerable to this thing about who we owe our allegiance to. What we have been made to believe. I am a Sikh. Sure, I am a Sikh. The other guy says, I'm a Christian. The other guy says, I'm a Muslim. The other guy says, I'm a Jew. We are all humans. And Guruji says, Manas ki jaat sab ek hai pehchan bo. Sure. So what this translates to in our mind, under influence of the circumstances we are growing up in, the education which is overwhelmingly putting this pressure on us, this is translated into Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad Sahib, Moses, the Messiah, they're all the same. They're all the same. That's where we get beat up. Keep in mind that Guru Nanak Dev Ji, when asked to describe Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Sab te vadda Sat Guru Nanak, जिन कल राखी मेरी. Sab te vada means sab te vada. Sab te vada. We got to believe this. Sab te vada Satguru Nanak. Pegambar, Pegam, messenger. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is not a messenger. I have nothing against those prophets. I have nothing against those prophets. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji, for heaven's sake, is not a messenger. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Aap Narayan Kala Tahar Jag Mein Parvat. So we believe. And so we believe with conviction. And that's why we feel that Guru Nanak owes our allegiance to him. That's the thought which will make us sovereign, and I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. As a Sikh, I may not be a good person. A Christian may be many times better than me. मैं झूठ बोलता हूँगा, वो सच बोलता है, उसका करैक्टर बहुत चंगा होगा, मेरा नहीं होगा. But that doesn't mean Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Jesus Christ and Moses are all the same. No. Sab te vada, Satguru Nanak. What does that mean? Who is the true sovereign? Who is the true sovereign? From what I just said, the true sovereign is Akal Purkh, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Is phenomenon, we only look at it from a historical perspective. Only historical perspective. This is not just a cosmetic thing. The second thing which we have made to believe is, especially after 9/11, I was never a public speaker. I was thrown into this field by default because I could speak some English. And when 9/11 happened, there were so many interfaith meetings which took place. And I got to represent the local Sikh community in Sacramento. And in those meetings, people were talking about the message of each faith. And I felt really uncomfortable. I didn't have a way to put my thoughts. And we ended up labeling Guru Granth Sahib Ji as our holy scripture. As our holy scripture. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the Guru. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the sovereign. Akal Purkh da pothi Parmeshwar ka than. O Akal Purkh da roop hai. O Akal Purkh hai. Vah vah Bani Nirankar hai. This Jevad avar na koi. These are those concepts which, under influence of today's education system, have become foreign to us. And we have ourselves been degrading Guru Granth Sahib Ji's status by labeling them as our holy scripture. We have holy scriptures. Bhai Gurdas diyan waran are our holy scriptures. Janam Sakhiyan are our holy scripture. There's a lot of other literature which we learn from, which can be brought under the umbrella of our holy scriptures. Not Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It might appear like other holy scriptures, but it is not. At least for us. So two things. Number one, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the true sovereign. We owe our allegiance to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, none other than Guru Nanak Dev Ji. When we say that, it includes the 10 Patshahiyan. Tan Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Sache Patshahi. Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And the Sovereign Khalsa. The Khalsa within which the Guru resides. So our aspiration, with these thoughts backing us up, that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the true sovereign. And Guru Granth Sahib Ji is not merely a holy scripture. It is the embodiment of Akal Purkh, the Sargun Swarup of Akal Purkh. That is what will give us this inner strength to stand up and claim what belongs to us. It's very important that we don't forget these two important concepts which our generations have started to gradually lose. So, what do you see in this picture? What do you see? What do you see? It's not a trick question, it's a pretty obvious thing. I mean, what do you see?
Garden.
Oh, you see a garden. I see a garden too. I see a garden too. What else do you see? When you say garden, it means the different flowers, the green bushes, right? And perhaps we can feel it, maybe there is some fragrance, right? What else do you see? Anybody? Was it?
The garden is.
It depends on where you look. Why don't you be more forthright when you say, what do you see?
I feel like it's enclosed.
It's enclosed. Maybe because I created this presentation, so I know, I can transmit my thoughts to you. The concept of Khalsa. Why did Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji or even Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji envision this concept of Khalsa? When I looked at this picture, I was looking for something kind of, to put in my thoughts in a photograph. I knew Khalsa is like a garden. The beauty of it, the fragrance of it, the variety of it. But then, when I saw this picture, what caught my attention was the fence. The fence. Fence, if not for the fence, this garden wouldn't be existing. It wouldn't be existing. To elaborate on this, rabbits, deer, other creatures would have had easy access to these flowers. They would have messed it all up. They would have messed it all up. The reason Khalsa is so important, the role of the Khalsa is so valuable, because it's the Khalsa, and I'll show it to you through history. It is the Khalsa which became the fence of these beautiful concepts which were brought to us by Guru Nanak Dev Ji through Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, enshrined in our history in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, put together, that Khalsa had to protect and take to the next generation and to the next generation. Not just the next generation, but to the entire creation. This is what happened so many times in the past. I'm talking about the Indian subcontinent, Bhagat Kabir, Bhagat Namdev Ji. What happened to their followers? They all got caught and consumed by the majority, the overwhelming majority around them. They call themselves Kabir Panthis, but they don't have no unique belief system. They've fallen into the mainstream, what they call. And for us, when Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji created the Khalsa, and he said, "Jab lag Khalsa rahe nyara, tab lag tej diyon mein sara." What it means is, as a fence, you have to recognize it. You have to understand your role in society. And as long as you stick to that role, you don't have to worry about any resource, because everything that belongs to me belongs to you. तेज दियो मैं सारा. हाँ खालसे का, खालसा मेरो. Oth pot sagar bundiro. You don't have to worry about anything. So, to look at the things outside of this fence. There's those sunflower bushes, there's some trees, maybe some fruit trees. But the most secure amongst the plants in this picture are the ones within that fence. Within that fence. And that fence not only protects, it's like an umbrella. Aajo, sare, sabnu Jarnail te skand laye. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਚ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਾਲਸੇ ਨੇ ਅਪਣਾ ਲਿਆ. ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਸਾਰੇ. For the Khalsa to remain firm, the fence to remain up and standing and doing its job, what was most important was the rahat. Was the rahat. So, how did our forefathers, our ancestors, take up this task? How did they deal with this responsibility? Is extremely important for us to know. It's a long history. I'm going to make it very concise if I can. So, what you see here is on one slide that 40, 50 years of Sikh history, which if a regular person would read it, they'll say, oh my God, it's so bloody. It is so sad. It is full of so much trauma and death. Yet when we look at it with pride. These are our ancestors. They chose to be the fence and not worry about the onslaught. They said, come on, we'll take care of it. 1708, Guru Granth Sahib Ji gets the Gurta Gadi. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji says, I am going to Sachkhand, but I am here forever for you. Baba Banda Singh Bahadur arrives at Sarhand. 1712, after vanquishing Sarhand, he sets up the first Khalsa Raj, which lasts for 4 years. A very unique, a beautiful, peaceful Raj. 1716, he's captured, he becomes a Shaheed. Time goes by, a period full of violence and pain and suffering for the Sikhs. Yet, they remain committed. Why? They're sovereign. They feel so. They feel so. 1726, Zakaria Khan gets appointed as the Subedar of Lahore. As a Subedar, his job is, part of his responsibilities are to send funds to Delhi, the Raja, the Sultan, the King, the Badshah. He has to send funds there. Bahadur Shah. Now, what the Singhs did, what the Khalsa did, was they started looting all the revenues which would come up from the Zimidars to the Jagirdars, and then on way to the Subedar. They were all kind of taken away by the Khalsa and redistributed to the poor and the needy. At that moment, Zakaria Khan knew that his position was very unstable. So he tried to make peace with the Sikhs. And that is what led to the Sarbat Khalsa in 1733, right there. And Sardar Kapoor Singh became Nawab Kapoor Singh. This is the same Sarbat Khalsa where the Dal Khalsa was formed. It is the same Sarbat Khalsa where the Buddha Dal and the Tarna Dal came into being. 1733. That accord, so to speak, didn't last very long. Did not last very long. Bhai Mani Singh ji became Shaheed. Massa Rangad came to Harmandir Sahib, did Beadbis. Bhai Sukha Singh, Mehtab Singh beheaded him. Bhai Taru Singh, Bhai Subek Singh, Sahbaz Singh became Shaheed. And as a part of the Khalsa's desire to avenge the deaths, the Shahidi of Bhai Taru Singh, Bhai Subek Singh, Bhai Shahbaz Singh, Lakhpat Rai's brother, Jaspat Rai, was beheaded. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਖੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਰੋੜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦਾ ਜੱਥਾ ਆਇਆ ਤੇ ਜਸਪਤ ਰਾਏ found out that the Singhs had gathered at the Gurdwara Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Gurdwara. He laid siege to it and he said, get out of here. And they said, no, we are not leaving. We're just preparing langar. We're going to rest for a day or so and then we'll leave. We're just here to do darshan. And when he said, he started insulting the Gurus, one of the Singhs climbed up the elephant he was sitting on, holding on to his tail, and beheaded Jaspat Rai. That's what angered Lakhpat Rai. Lakhpat Rai is the one who was responsible for the Shahidi of Bhai Subek Singh, Shahbaz Singh, Bhai Taru Singh, and even Bhai Mani Singh ji. And Lakhpat Rai was so angered. That is what led to the Chota Kalugara. Sikhs were living in the forest, and he set fire to the forest. They had no place to go. On one side was the river, there were the hills, they couldn't cross the river. Thousands of them perished. Yet, they never perished. Why? Because the Khalsa believes that it's immortal. Immortal. Because it's the ultimate sovereign, so it believes. So what happens when the Khalsa dies? We all will die one day. For the Khalsa, death never comes to Khalsa. All that happens is they change their chola. They change their dress. That's it. So they were never scared of death. They welcomed it. And that's what Ratan Singh Pangu said. Hum rakhat padshahi dawa, ja itko, ja aglo pawa. Jo Satgur Sikhan kahi baat, hog sai, na khali jaat. Through vidrat, aur taval dolaye, Satgur bachan na khali jaye. What was the Satguru's bachan? In gareeb Sikhan ko diyon padshahi, ye yaad rakhe hamari guriyai. When I read this statement, in gareeb Sikhan ko diyon padshahi, ye yaad rakhe hamari guriyai, I'm reminded of the same Pankti of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib ji. Jab lag Khalsa rahe niara, tab lag tej diyon mein sara. In gareeb Sikhan ko diyon padshahi, I'll grant these, my poor Singhs, the Khalsa, the kingdom. I'll make them rulers of this land. There's one condition. Ye yaad rakhe hamari guriyai. That they remember the principles of Guru Nanak's, to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib's teachings. Ye yaad rakhe hamari guriyai. So, Chota ka lukara ho gaya. Then another Sarbat Khalsa took place in 1748. Look how quickly things are happening. And we are frustrated now. Why aren't things moving? It's been 40 years since the assault on the Akal Takht Sahib. I would call it an assault on Panjab, actually. Why aren't things moving so fast? I think it has something to do with our characters. That's what I feel. Some people kind of don't like me saying that because they say it's like the victim's mentality. You start to blame yourself for all your troubles. I'm not blaming myself for all my troubles, but what I'm worried about is, am I losing that edge? Am I losing that edge? That things aren't working like they did then. Now, in that Sarbat Khalsa, the Tarna Dal was divided into the missiles. Lot of people had become Singhs. Lot of people had joined the ranks. So there was a need to kind of, for better organization, to split the Tarna Dal into different missiles. Shahidi missile is what Baba Deep Singh Ji was made the head of. He was the head of the Damdami Taksal to begin with. Baba Deep Singh Ji was the person who challenged Ahmed Shah Abdali. He raided Panjab, went up to Delhi, Panipat, had battles with the Rajputs. It's a long history if you start talking about Abdali's assault on Punjab. But Baba Deep Singh Ji and all the other Singhs under him challenged him. We know the history, how they were able to rescue so many young women they had kidnapped and were taken to be sold as slaves in Kabul and Ghazni and Baghdad and all over. Baba Deep Singh Ji became Shaheed in 1757 in November in one of those, defending the Harmandir Sahib. 1761, another Sarbat Khalsa takes place. And guess what this Khalsa decides? Khalsa says, these guys are not going to stop. We got to get to the root of it. So what was the root of it? The Khalsa decided to lay siege to Lahore. Lahore ਲੈਣਾ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਕਬਜ਼ਾ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦਾ ਝਗੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਲੈਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਖਸਤਾ ਨਿਬੇੜ ਦਿਓ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਤੇ ਕਬਜ਼ਾ ਕਰ ਲਓ Perhaps the Khalsa made a strategic mistake here. Abdali had appointed his son to be the Subedar of Lahore before returning to Kabul. And on his way back, he heard that the Khalsa had decided to lay siege to Lahore. And he was worried about the safety of his son. He returned. He turned back. The Khalsa wasn't expecting Abdali to return. And as Abdali returned, the Khalsa realized that we got our kids, we got our older folks, we got our families with us, our wives, our sisters, our moms with us. How are we going to fight with them around? We got to take them to safety first. That's what then led the Khalsa to take off the siege, abandon that, and then move towards the southlands, the desert. But in the meantime, Abdali caught up, and that's when the Vadda Kalukara took place. Why did they have to go through these ordeals? It was so easy for those guys, to give up. Ki lod pai hai panga leਣ ਦੀ? Kyun lena hai panga? Just think of the fence. If it was not for these folks, we wouldn't have the Sikhi we have today. We wouldn't. We wouldn't be holding our head high and saying, Dhan Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, Dhan Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji Sache Paatshah. Are we on the same page? So, Sovereign Khalsa. When we say Sovereign Khalsa, it also means the Khalsa is timeless. The character of Khalsa never ever changes. It doesn't. And that is something which we have to keep in mind, how important it is to safeguard our character. And those periods of trial and tribulation, as they would say in English, ended up with Maharaja Ranjit Singh Ji riding into Lahore and to claim Panjab. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, by the way, is the only Punjabi Maharaja who ruled Punjab. Other than Maharaja Ranjit Singh, they were either from Kabul or from Delhi or they were all Mughals or the slave dynasty and the Qutbuddins and the rest. Maharaja Ranjit Singh is the first Punjabi ruler of Punjab. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Maharaja Ranjit Singh was able to take Lahore in one day. In one day, not killing a single soul, not killing one person. He rode into Lahore. Shah Jahan was the ruler of Lahore. People were fed up with him. Bhangi Sardars were also, in charge of some segments of Lahore. People were fed up of them as well because of their lost characters. People were waiting for someone to save them. And as Maharaja, he was Ranjit Singh then, he wasn't the Maharaja. He was 19 years old. He rides into Lahore with his soldiers. People are standing on rooftops and showering them with petals. Aja, welcome, welcome. Bachala sanu bachala sanu. We think one person, one vote is going to be, we are doomed. We don't have enough folks to, how are we going to get a Sikh state? This is how we get a Sikh state. It's on the basis of our character. When people say, we will only trust the Khalsa, and the Maharaja did not break their trust. 2 years later, he declared himself the Maharaja, and he brought more and more and more territory under him, and he called that the Khalsa Sarkar. He could have called it Ranjit Singh's Sarkar. He called it the Khalsa Sarkar. And here is where we talk about our downfall. Our downfall. How we got trapped in the treachery. A combination of events engineered by the Hindu Dogras and the Englishmen. And what saddens me even more than anything else is we, living in this country, the country which deceived and deprived of us of what was rightfully ours, with the promise that they're going to give it back to us, we have adopted their lives. We have adopted their lifestyle. We have adopted their language. We have adopted their dress. We have adopted their food. We have adopted their education. And we feel good about it. The same Englishman who came up to Maharaja Duleep Singh and said, sign on this piece of paper. They called it the Treaty of Amritsar, I think, and said, from now on, you are nobody. You are nobody. They took away all that belonged to him, all the forts, all the property, including the Kohinoor. Maharaja Duleep Singh was kidnapped and brought here. Maharani Jinda, his mother, went into exile. What was built on the heads of so many shaheeds was lost because of deception. And when I look at this chapter of history, I feel that I need to look within and remind the Panth that this is what belonged to us. This is what was ours. This is the Panjab of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. All through. And by the way, this is Kashmir. It says Gulab Singh's territory. This was the reward which Gulab Singh Dogra got for his deception from the Englishmen. Kashmir was a part of Khalsa Sarkar. These states were also Sikh states, the Patiala, Hisar, Sirsa, Jind, all of those Sikh states. They were kind of aligned to the English, but they still were Sikh states. They were still Sikh states. And when I look at the picture, the previous picture, I sometimes feel that Maharaja Duleep Singh is still waiting for somebody to stand up and claim what he lost. Get it back. Do we ever give this a thought, even for a few moments in our day? That we, at one point, ruled over Punjab, and now we are more or less beggars. ਸਾਡੇ ਹੱਕ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਹ ਦੇ ਦਿਓ, ਅਸੀਂ ਮੋਰਚਾ ਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਧਰਨਾ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ. That's not what princes and princesses do. So we got to Listen to Maharaja Duleep Singh's call. Let's get back to Punjab. Or let's get back Punjab. Punjab belongs to us. Why is this important? You know, I ran into a kid. Wasn't a kid, actually. I mean, he was he's an adult. I mean, for me, he was so small when I first started talking to him. He says, why do we need Khalsa Raj? I can be in Bana, I can travel, I have my car, I can do Pagati, all of this, I mean, it's available to me. Why do I need Khalsa Raj? It's Maya. Asi Raj kyun lena hai? Maya ch kyun fasana hai? Now, listen. Guru Nanak Dev Ji came to Punjab. He found something special in that land. He put in so much into that land. All other gurus invested so much in Punjab. The Darbar Sahib, the Shahidiyan, eventually the kingdom. And the nature of that kingdom is so obvious to us. I feel that we owe it to Guru Nanak Dev Ji's teachings, being that fence, that we get Punjab back, that crucible, where we could then freely and without coercion apply the teachings of our gurus and create that perfect human being which Guru Nanak Dev Ji wanted to produce. We all believe in Sarbat da Khalsa, Sarbat da Pala, don't we? What does Sarbat da Pala mean at the end of the day? It's not about feeding a homeless leftover langar from a Gurdwara. That's not Sarbat da Pala. He's going to need more langar the next day. Who's going to be responsible for that then? Is Sarbat da Pala only limited to langar? So the question is, Sarbat da Pala also includes challenging the tyrants and stopping them from oppressing the weak and the poor. How could we do that if we don't control that piece of land? If we don't control Punjab today, the tyrants do, we are not doing our duty. We are not being that fence no more. So we need that piece of land. It belongs to us, and rightfully so. And this is what, because of our, I guess, ignorance or laziness or, feeling defeated or frustrated or attraction to other objectives in life, this is what Punjab is today. That's it. That's it. And not only so, people are leaving Punjab in droves. And one day, this will be called Punjab, but there won't be no Khalsa there. If the trend continues. If the trend continues. To challenge this concept is very important. To challenge the status quo is very important. The sovereign Khalsa has to do it. And we have to look at ourselves as to where we are in terms of that personal sovereignty, our allegiance. Is it to the material world? Is it to the crown? Is it to the government? Or is it to Guru Nanak Dev Ji? That's extremely important. Now, what happened when we lost control over Punjab? Number one, we lost our Gurdwaras. The British made this law, All India Gurdwara Act, where all Gurdwaras, all laws pertaining to management of Gurdwaras have to be passed by the Indian Parliament. How could we claim ourselves to be sovereign? Our educational institutions, where are the bungas in the parkarma of the Harmandir Sahib? Where are the bungas? All destroyed and replaced by sarans. Harmandir Sahib is not a tourist destination where people need to go and sleep and spend a night. They do. But the Bungas were meant to not only just impart education to whoever went there, but also a place to spend a night. There are no more Bungas there. Our education system is no different than what your schools and colleges impart you in the Western world. It's the same all over the world. We've lost our education system. Sikh Bank by Veer Singh Ji established the Panjab and Sindh Bank in 1908. Indira Gandhi came to power and she took over control. It's now owned by the Indian government. And then the Pakara Dam, the trade with neighboring states, determining the price. I mean, we as farmers, as owners of that land, can't even determine the price of our produce. And we don't consider ourselves slaves. Is that we have accepted that? So it's very important. But ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਦੂਰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਤੰਬਾਕੂ, ਨਸ਼ੇ, ਸ਼ਰਾਬ. They say there are 6 rivers in Punjab. The 6th one is liquor. Alcohol. The largest consumption of alcohol in the entire India is in Punjab. The Khalsa needs to rise. The Khalsa needs to wake up. It's very important that we recognize what we have lost. As I said, Khalsa is timeless. Time has no influence on the character of Khalsa. It was this that led to that one rise of one man who stood up against the might of the Indian state and said, I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to take this. There were a lot of people who stood up with him, but not all of us. Sant Giani Jarnail Singh Khalsa Bhindranwale. Do you think it was necessary for the Indian state to get to Sant Giani Jarnail Singh Ji Bhindranwale with such might? Tanks, artillery fires. Why was it so important for them to come in and with such ferocity? They knew the Khalsa's will has to be crushed. It has to be crushed. This is not about one man. This is about that concept. And if we don't crush them now, they will keep on rising. And that's the reason that we got so scared, our generations, the generations above you got so scared. No, apna bacha karo, apna dekho koi nahi gal, oh, bahut takka ho gaya. The other saints in the past didn't think of it like that. बहुत जाति होगी, बहुत नुकसान हो गया, बड़े बंदे मरवा ले, अपना गल ठीक नहीं हुई. Yeah, a lot of Sikhs, became shaheed in the Chota Kalukara and the Vaddu Kalukara. I don't think they ever blamed anybody for it. They kind of said, yeah, Manu saadi datri, asi Manu de soe, jo Manu vadda, asi doon swaye hoye. They never regretted dying. They said, come on. Let's do it, Aja, ladde hain. So the character of this man, Sant Giani Jarnail Singh Ji, I don't know. I have no way to know what was in him that brought in so many people so close to him. What is it in him that 40 years later, there is still ardas being done for his Chardi Kala? What kind of charisma does this person have? It comes back to Sovereign Khalsa. It is his personality is of that individual who represents the Sikh of the 17th and the 18th century in the 20th century. The Khalsa is timeless. The Khalsa is timeless. It's extremely important for us to keep this in mind. And he had no other agenda. He had no other agenda. His only agenda was to raise his voice for the sake of Punjab and to keep alive the teachings, the beauty, the fragrance of our gurus, the teachings of our gurus. He became the fence. He became the fence. It is his spirit of the Khalsa which makes us so proud of him. And what he did in life isn't exclusive for him. We can do the same. We all can. So it's extremely important, beta. Minu hi lagda hai. Coming back to the character thing, this may be my last slide. Coming back to the character thing, we gave up our language. We gave up our dress. We gave up our khana peena da tanga. We gave up our education and we expect to maintain our character. ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਛੱਡੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਹਿਰਾਵਾ ਛੱਡਿਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਬਦਲਤਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਬਦਲਤੀ, ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਿਰਦਾਰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਚਣਾ ਸੀ? ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਚਣਾ ਸੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਿਰਦਾਰ? ਹੁਣ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦਾ, sure, it's a good idea to do economics, to do political science, to go to medicine, go to a banking sector, go to some other field. But remember, most of us are doing it for the sake of personal prosperity. Nothing, that's it. Hardly anybody is doing it for the sake of the Panth. If I become an attorney, this is how it is going to help the Panth. If I become a good economist, this is how it's going to help the Panth. We are not doing it like that. But the real education that we have lost isn't the economics, the political sciences, the health sciences of this world. The real education that we have lost is the Gurmat Di Vidya. That treasure that our forefathers put together and it was being imported in the bungas around Darbar Sahib and rest of Punjab. Nobody is willing to go there no more. Be it Santya, be it the other Vidya which comes, the other Granths which come with Gurmat Vidya, whether it's Sangeet, whether it's our overall how we strategize. Most of the intellect of today's youth is being used for personal prosperity. Most of our intellect has not been contributing to the Chardikal of the Panth. I'm sorry to say that, including myself. We need to start thinking about it very seriously if we want to succeed. This is our Punjab. Je mainu 5 minute tusi de do, 1 minute mainu de do. Why is Punjab so important? Why is Punjab so important? There are 3 civilizations which history talks about. 3 civilizations. 1, Egypt, the river Nile. Number 2, Mesopotamia, Iraq, Euphrates, Tigris. Third, Punjab. But why is Punjab so unique? With the threat of climate change, the entire world is going to become a desert. That's what they say. The entire world is going to become a desert, but Punjab will not. Nile is only 1 river. Euphrates and Tigris are 2 rivers. Here we have 6 rivers. Here we have 6 rivers in this basin. And all of these rivers are perennial rivers. they don't depend on rain. Their source lies in the Himalayas. The tallest the tallest mountain range in the entire world. The one which is going to be affected the last because of the climate change. The glaciers are so high. They are beyond the influence of the climate change. That's the reason why the Indian state wants Sikhs to abandon Punjab so that they can control the source of water, because all future wars are going to be for controlling water. We need to understand this. We need to go back to Punjab. We need to go back to Punjab. I don't know if you've heard by Dr Gurtej Singh's talk or not, but that's what he emphasizes on. That's all I have to say. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki